Andriy Zagorodnyuk joins me from Kiev. He is a former Ukrainian defense minister and current advisor to the Ukrainian government. Appreciate your time tonight.
Thank you.
So Monday marked one of Russia's deadliest aerial attacks on Ukraine since the start of the invasion. It happened in broad daylight. Ukraine intercepted most of the incoming missiles. Did Ukraine anticipate a major attack like this on the eve of the NATO summit?
We certainly anticipated that Russia would continue attacks. We didn't obviously know the schedule, but we understood that this will continue, and of course, that something's going to happen related to either to the summit or just to the Russian plans, because we had situations before when there were very serious attacks with tens of missiles at the same time, without any events connected. So it just simply happens. Usually Russia right now is concentrating the rockets and then sending them all in a large quantity in order to exhaust our air defense. So that tactic sometimes worked. Like, for example, in this case, out of 38 rockets, 30 were intercepted, but 8 got through. And as you could see, there's been an enormous damage. And the hospital, of course, there's been a huge, and everybody's talking about that, but we need to know that there's been other buildings destroyed. There's been a residential building destroyed, and so on. So altogether, 31 persons died, and over 170 seriously wounded.
Yeah,
just in one moment.
And of course, Russia did deny hitting that hospital. Ukraine's state security service says it has evidence of a Russian cruise missile. It is Ukraine's largest children's hospital. And we are seeing some pretty gruesome images of young children, like this one I want to show our viewers, injured in this callous attack. What is the feeling in Ukraine this week? And what is the hope of what they might get from the NATO alliance in terms of the pledge so far and what more there may be to come?
First of all, of course, to be honest, Ukrainians already even not appalled about Russian statements that it wasn't them. I mean, we already got used to that. That's a standard response. They have destroyed like a huge part of the country. They destroyed cities and towns. And every time this is somebody else. So basically, in this case, there are like fragments of the rocket, very specific one. This is X-101. And essentially, this rocket is well known, has been hit to Ukraine many times, and there is no single credible comment from any expert, from any embassy, from any international committee that it might not be that rocket. So basically, there is a common understanding here in Kiev, even among international partners and observers, that what it has been. But of course, Russia is spreading the disinformation all around the world, and this is a standard Russia. That's what they do pretty much all the time.
Yeah.
Regarding the generally what the hopes are, the expectations are that there would be a step up in air defense, because of course air defense is going through enormous strain and enormous test. And there's been a lot of the very unique situations when we've been intercepting very serious Russian rockets. For example, like a hypersonic Kinjal, which was originally considered not to be interceptable at all. But the volumes, yes, that's what the Russians playing with. They're trying to send a lot of volume in the same hour, literally, and just through that to get through. So we need to deal with that.
Here in the US, there's a lot of focus on the upcoming election. If Trump is re-elected, which according to the polls here, it looks likely, is there a fear in Ukraine that the US will abandon Ukraine?
Yeah, there's a discussion about that pretty much every day, because there's been messages coming from Washington, from obviously some politicians, that there would be a pressure for Ukraine to enter into negotiations with Putin. Putin obviously stated that in Ukraine it's considered like a no-brainer, because Putin clearly stated that he doesn't want Ukraine to exist. He's confirming these statements at least every month, or him or his government. And they are still, despite of all setbacks in Ukrainian battlefield, they still are trying to do that. They still deny Ukraine existence, a country with a huge history and tens of millions of population and so on. They just should say that we shouldn't exist and so on. So for us, it's an existential war. And of course, when somebody's saying that they would withdraw the help in order to pressure us to negotiations and obviously some consents, that seriously is going to weaken our defense position, to say at least. And yes, that is concern. That's a huge concern.
Andriy Zagorodnyuk, the current advisor to the Ukrainian government, we appreciate your time today. Thank you.
Thank you.